How to get started in real estate with no money. I'm going to reveal that your thinking about real estate that you needed a lot of money to get started was actually a myth, and why that's just not true. I'm going to show you right here, right now, how someone just like you, with families just like yours, who has income and a job probably like you, got their first house and had no money of their own to get into the house. I'm also going to show you where you can find free money and how that is used for you to get your first home owner occupied, which some of you want to do. So understanding money, money is sold just like beer, bread, peanut butter, okay? It's sold, all right? If you want a bottle of water, you go out and you get a bottle of water. You go get it, right? Not that hard. But when you think about money, people think, well, how do I get money? Well, there are ways to get money, and money is sold for a fee. That fee is called interest rates. It's borrowed, and you pay a fee to use it. If you go get a bottle of water, it's $1, $2. If you go get money, it may be 1 point, which is 1% of the loan amount, which means that a $100,000 loan, 1% would be $1,000. That's how money is sold. It's sold, okay? And people make money off their money, and they sell it just like they sell other commodities. It is a commodity that is sold. And the price of that commodity, money, can be moved around. Now, for you to get money, there is, especially as a first-time home buyer or as a veteran, there are loans that are specifically designed for you. And those loans come from the Federal Housing Authority. And the reason that that was set up was to encourage home ownership. In public policy, it's a good idea for people to own homes. It gives people a roof over their head, and it creates stability in communities and commerce, or people going out and buying things at Chipotle or Panera Bread or Ross or any of these other stores. You need rooftops and people living in them to support the community, the tax base, and all the other things that go with living in a community. So FHA allows you to buy a home if you qualify, which many first-time home buyers do, for 3.5% down. But we said we were going to talk about no money down, or how to get started with no money. So where do you get the other 3.5%? And here's the thing. There is money available in many states and communities where there are grants that allow you to get the down payment money that you want. So you don't have to have the money to buy the home. You're going to get a loan, and then you're going to get a grant for the difference. So that's one way, without having any cash, that you can get your first home. Another way is FHA allows you to get a gift letter. Now, some of you have relatives that have money or that are older that may be passing on an estate to their children, but the children need the money now. So oftentimes the person who has money that they're going to leave for their children, or a family friend or an uncle or someone else, can do what's called a gift letter. And a gift letter is totally legal, totally legitimate. The FHA allows you to get a gift for your down payment. So by getting a gift for the 3.5%, again, you don't have your own money. You're getting the money from a gift or a grant to get started in your first home. Another way to get started in your first home, of course, is to get involved in these programs that are offered by the banks that are designed to get you in a first home. So how do you do that? You have to go talk to the banks. So Bank of America, Wells Fargo, US Bank, Chase, et cetera, et cetera. Most of these big banks participate in these grant programs or the gift letter program where you can get a gift from a relative, and they will allow you to go out and get the down payment from either this grant or this gift. Additionally, they have programs where they have reduced rates for first-time home buyers, which are more competitive than somebody who's buying an investment property or somebody who already owns property. So before I go to the next point, I want you to go ahead and subscribe so that we can stay in touch, right? So how are you going to learn about real estate if you're not talking to me and I'm not talking to you? So comment below, subscribe, and then we'll continue this engagement through these videos of educating you, and we'll show you how to get started in real estate. So now that you've subscribed, here's a story about a tenant of mine. I own a number of apartment buildings and have tenants who I knew could buy their own home, but they didn't because why? They didn't know how. And I often say that the reason most people don't buy their first home is because they don't think they can. So hopefully this video is giving you some ideas. So here's a real life story about a real life person who worked for Chevron and lived in California and had credit that was pretty good, but wasn't perfect, and had a daughter. And him and his daughter, he's a single father, qualified for the FHA loan and for the grant. He didn't have to put any money down. He didn't even know this existed until I told him about it. I literally spent 25 minutes in the parking lot when I was over there one day and talked to him about how you can get an FHA loan, how you can get the grant, and how you can apply, and that your credit score doesn't need to be astronomical. The credit score for many loans only has to be 580 or higher. Now those may change depending on the market, because remember, money's sold, so the market changes. But the best step for you is to go to a lender and get pre-qualified and find out what you could do. Find out about these programs. Now in his case, he wasn't ready right away. He had a couple things he had to fix on his credit, and he had to put a little bit of money in reserves. He saved a few thousand over a course of 3 or 4 months, and then he was ready to buy, and he bought a home. Good thing he did, because he bought this home about 1.5 years ago, and the market has gone crazy. He's probably got about $30,000 or $40,000 in equity in his house already that he used none of his own money to buy. If you like that idea, join me on the next video and I'll explain to you the tax benefits that he's going to get from owning a home and the tax benefits that you can have from owning a home. So oftentimes people, when they wonder how to get started in real estate with no money, aren't aware of these programs. The best way to get started in real estate with no money, of course, is these programs. But you also have to remember, most of these programs are for owner-occupied homes only. So if you don't own your home yet, this is a great way to get started. Also, if you're a veteran, there is no money down loans. They'll give you 100% of the money because you served the country, and thank you for doing that. And in getting the VA loan, you can have one VA loan at a time. You can get most of the properties for no money down. Now, a couple points about these loans. There's what's called conventional financing, and that conventional financing has a cap to how much they will lend in a given area. Talk to a bank or your loan broker who's licensed to go through these details, and they will explain to you and show you how you can qualify and how much you could qualify for. Now, if you want to buy a home for, say, $600,000, if you're in California, in some areas, they'll lend up to that amount. In other areas, they only lend to $500,000 or $400,000 or $300,000. So it's area specific based on the price of homes in that area. And so your particular window of pricing is going to depend on what is allowed with the grants and the initial FHA loans. So a lot of your starter homes usually fall within FHA, and many of those around the country are available to you to get started. The last thing I want to talk about in this video, which is super important, is new homes. Going into new homes is subdivisions, you can learn so much because they're all set up to see if you pre-qualify. They will not let you write a contract on a home, most of them, unless you've already been through the pre-qualification process. Go ahead and try to get pre-qualified. Now, if you think you can get pre-qualified or you think you can't, you're right. Just go do it, okay? Because once you get pre-qualified, even if they say, you know what, you're not qualified because you got a credit issue or you don't have enough reserves in the bank, maybe you need 1 or 2 months of reserves, or maybe you can borrow from your 401k and you didn't know about that for a home loan. There's some options, and they work with people every day, just like you, with families just like yours, who want to get into their home, who want to get into real estate, but just don't understand. They do understand, and that's why they're there. They're there to help you. So too many people want to like bypass all these. This is their industry, right? If you want your teeth fixed, you go to a dentist. If you want your spine fixed, you go to a chiropractor. If you want money, you go to somebody who's a loan broker or a bank, because that's what they do all day. That's their business, right? If you want to buy a home, you talk to realtors, you go to new home subdivisions, you go to these places where homes are and you engage with people whose business it is to buy homes or to sell homes, list homes, and they will show you the steps to do that. For most people that want to buy a newer home or mostly newer home, first-time home buyers, that's the direction I recommend, not some old fixer. The reason why you don't want to buy old fixers is because a lot of these programs will not lend on those properties because they need work. but there's one exception. FHA does have these fixer-upper loans, which are designed to not only lend you money to buy the home, but also lend you the money to fix it up. It requires budgets and it's a little more complicated than buying a home, but those loans are available, so I mentioned them here so you have them. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, and we're going to roll into the next video, which is all about the tax benefits of owning a home, which you definitely want to know, because by owning a home, the government encourages that with tax law, which allows you to write off some of the costs of the home, like mortgage interest, against your actual income from work. It's pretty exciting. We're going to talk about it right here, right now in the next video.